Hello guys! In this video I'm going to talk about the polymer clay brands I use and which one works best for me. I also want to talk about how I got into this hobby. 5 years ago I attended a drink and draw meeting. Drink and draw is a meeting that people get together and just drink beer and draw something. I used to draw with charcoal pencils in university, but I wasn't really into arts at the time I joined the meeting. I had an idea that can be drawn into comics, so I was trying to find someone to draw it for me, and I also wanted to have a good time, meet some people. So I took my camera with me and went to the meeting. An art teacher also attended the meeting, bringing lots of art materials that she took from an art materials exhibition. At the end of the meeting, she just handed me a package of ceramics clay and said, "Look, this is so soft, just take it and do something with it." This is how I started sculpting. My favorite movie is a claymation called Mary and Meg, so I asked a sculptor friend to help me making a Mary sculpture. He did, and at the end of the day, I had a Mary sculpture. I must admit that he did most of the work, but I really love working with clay. Then I made a research and found out about polymer clay. I first bought main colors of Fimo and made this little minion. Fimo has a huge range of colors and effects like translucent and night glow. This is a good thing, but it's sometimes really hard in the package. Maybe it is because the clay is old. Sometimes it waits for a long time in my drawer. I usually come across to a clay like that. By the way, if you have a package of clay like that, I have a tutorial about how to soften hard crumbly clay, so click on the eye icon to watch it later. If the clay is too hard, I have to knead it to make it soft. After working a while with the heat of my hands, it gets so soft. I usually squish one part while working on another when I work with Fimo polymer clay. If you have lots of Fimo polymer clay and you have the same problem I have, after sculpting a part you can bake it, then work on another part. So this way you can avoid squishing or ruining the parts you have already sculpted. But don't burn them like I did. FEMA Professional is another brand that has better consistency than Fimo. It is easy to condition and work with. It is flexible after baking. If you like to work with color clay, I recommend this one. It doesn't have that range of colors as Fimo though. My favorite clay is Super Sculpey, which comes in two colors, beige and gray. Beige one is softer and gets a little bit translucent after baking. I think they made beige one to imitate skin color, but it is more orange than a usual skin. Gray one is firmer and I think it has the best consistency. It is my favorite clay so far. You can condition it easily and after baking you can carve it. Only downside is it breaks on the thin parts. So working on thin parts like fingers or a cloth, I use Fimo or FEMA Professional. For example, on this sculpture, I use Fimo Translucent because Fimo is flexible and I like the translucent effect of the veil. For the Flying Spaghetti Monster, I use Fimo Professional in yellow color. The tentacles of the monster are thin, so it is better to use Fimo Professional than Super Sculpey. Nowadays, I'm also making miniature sculptures, so I bought Mili Pot for this project. Mili Pot is a 2-component putty. You have to mix 2 components for 6 minutes. After mixing nicely, it hardens in half an hour and gets rock hard in 24 hours. It gets really strong and doesn't break easily, no matter how thin the parts are. It is air dry, so you don't have to bake it. I have no experience with Premo, Cernit or any other brands, so if you have worked with them, please write a comment down below about your experience. Tell me which brand works best for you, which brand you work with and didn't like. If you want me to make a breakability test on the clays I have, please like this video and subscribe. I know there's not a word as breakability and I think it should be one. Thanks for watching.